gamers. Thanks for stopping by. Just was going to show here a bit of a synopsis of this new game that I've been playing, which is called War Dragons. And as you kind of might have heard in my last Clash video, I've decided to take on a new game here just because I've started to get a little burnout on Clash, especially from at least the multiplayer. Still playing it for Clan Wars, but wanted to check out something else. And I looked at some of the top games, and this one got a lot of positive reviews, so I decided to download it, and I've been playing it for a little over a week now. And I think the game is a lot of fun and shows a lot of promise from what it's already growing to. So try to at least go through a little bit of a synopsis. Again, I'm a little further down the path than at least early level. I'll have some subsequent videos where I go over different aspects of starting the game, but the premise is that you're basically attacking with dragons, and there is a large amount of dragon combinations. There's actually over 100 different dragons that you can utilize in this game once you progress to having everything unlocked. And there's also 27 different spell combinations. And so it's a pretty intense if you think about all the different dragons and all the different spells that you can utilize, and makes for some interesting ways to go about from a battle standpoint. Everybody has the same base layout, which at first I looked at and I was, I wasn't too keen on that because it didn't really give you the opportunity to kind of do things differently, maybe to slip up any attackers that try to attack you. But in looking at it more, I don't think that's entirely true. While I'd still like some variation perhaps in the base design, the principle still remains that while you have these separate islands of your base, you are able to move defenses to different positions. So if you look at being able to just control and change an area of where you want a particular defense to go, you still have that capability to do that. There are, for each stage of the game, various sections of the base that you have to clear. So if you look here, I've cleared not only my home island, but obviously this first island here, second island, and even a third and fourth island. But the ones I haven't cleared are over here. So you would first initially go through by clearing the clouds from there, and then there'll be forests that you have to clear underneath that. And that's how you enable to progress around, and this will actually curve around and go back down here. So as the game progresses, you can see there's a large portion of areas to go through. As far as the type of defenses that you have, there's a variety, and there's more that come on to the game that I'm not even privy to yet, such as I think lightning towers that I'll eventually get. But you can go through and utilize one builder is what you're given, and then if you upgrade to an elite account, which I did, that's where you ending up with multiple builders. So let's go ahead and kind of go through some of the main areas of the base. So you have your den, which is in question your main building, your home base, if you will. It's not a very strong structure, certainly not anything that you would use for defense or anything like that, nor is anything that's in this ring that you see on screen. The different areas that you have is you've got your storage hut here, and this is what enables you to store meat that you utilize for your dragons, and store lumber, which you utilize for any of the structures that you build. Then you actually have here a forge, which this is where you can go through and forge a variety of boosts. And these boosts, which is kind of neat about it, is not only can you forge them here, and it shows you the amount of time that it takes, but you also pick up these boots for free as you go through raids. So every raid, if you shoot some boats or different things around villages, you'll actually go ahead and see what you can get. And as you kind of go down, and you'll see there's ones that you utilize if you're doing a live defense, and there's ones that you utilize if you're going on an offensive attack and you want to resist archers or have different types of shields or a freeze spell. There's just a wide variety, which is actually pretty neat when you think about trying to plan out attacks. The various ones that you can use just give you a lot of different options, which I think is a really neat feature of the game. So if we look at other things that you have here, you have the Hall of Research, and these are various things that you utilize for being able to do specific research that's going to give you increases on your base, whether it's a reduction in time to get dragons, or a reduction in time to build and upgrade your defenses, or increased offensive measures. So, like for example, one of the ones I'm working on right now is a shield explosive. So the shield spell that I utilize from some of my dragons enables me to actually go through and increase that by 20%. So that's going to be a pretty big buff to my attacking that goes on. So, and I think one of the key areas that you look at is the egg incubator. And this is where you're going to be able to hatch all of your dragons. So I've hatched all my dragons at the time, and I think when you see this, the graphic representation of hatching new dragons is pretty cool. I think graphically this is a very appealing game. Now, in order to get eggs to hatch, you need to be able to breed the eggs. And the way that you do that is through the breeding castle, to where you have a lineage of different dragons. So you start out with the red dragons, which I've got all of those. And then as you upgrade them to various levels, that's going to bring them to once, and the level varies from one dragon to the next. They can go anywhere upgraded 10 times, 15, or the highest I've seen so far is 20. And usually there's some variance of anywhere from a level 4 to a level 8 when the dragon becomes a breedable dragon. And then you talk about when you breed dragons, you have a variety of ones that you can breed from one to the next here. And that, depending upon the combination that you utilize, is going to give you different options. When you have a check mark, that means you've already had that egg. If it's not, as in the case of this one here, this undiscovered dragon, I'm still trying to breed. So the red eggs are the easiest eggs, and they just come one at a time, other than there's one epic egg. But then for these epic and rare eggs that you'll see, what that actually means is that you need a piece. So each time you get, like, say, a blue egg, it gives you one piece. So if you get one of this one that's rare here, then you get one of 8, and so on and so on. So it definitely takes a long time to progress, but the early part of the game goes pretty fast, and all in all is pretty interesting as to how it works. So it's a lot of fun, I think, in playing that game. So let's go on to talk about, in essence, what you do from a team play perspective, and that is that once you get to level 6, you're able to join a guild. And a guild adds what I think are the coolest features of the game. And the first piece of it is we'll go ahead and take a look in the guild. Once you have your building set and you're level 6, and you can either join or create a guild, and you get treasury bonus daily, which are these egg tokens, and each egg token allows you to try to brew a specific egg, or breed a specific egg, rather. So you can look and kind of see on a daily basis what your treasure bonus is, just daily based upon the league that you're in, how many war wins that you have, and I'll go over the wars in a minute. And then that's going to be your daily bonus that you get, and it'll show you when your payout's going to be. Then you have your actual current members that you have. And so there's a couple neat features that you have when you look at the members that are available in here. It's going to show you once it connects to the server. And one of the reasons it's connecting to the server is not only to look at the members you have, but what their status is, which is a really neat feature in the fact that allows you to be able to know which members are actually online. So there you go. Is what you'll see there is the different members that we have. Now at this point, we're a relatively small guild, still only 10 members, but growing pretty quickly. And so that'll show you the list of them. You'll be able to see a little green person symbol if somebody else is online. And then it will also show you how many war flames, which, for people that play Clash of Clans is kind of the equivalent of war stars. It'll show you the medals, and this is basically what you're accomplishing from the various raids that you've done. And this is your all-time list. You don't lose those when somebody else attacks you. It's forever going up, so you don't ever have to worry about the fact of losing those. It's just an overall contribution of how far and successful you've gotten into the game. And you can also look at it from how active it is. And there's different settings that you can make that would basically say, let's say there's inactive or low activity members. Anytime a member hits low activity, you can actually have an auto kick to kick them out of the guild. Not necessarily something that we have in place, as we prefer to manage that individually, but it is still good to see kind of the activity level and where everybody's at. One of the other cool features that I'm going to get ready to start editing here is that there actually is an internal wiki in there. So I think this is just a fantastic idea in the fact that it allows you to edit different things on the page, such as information you want to share with your team members, whether it's strategy for how we approach wars or a single war, or if it's information on how to progress through the game, how to get your dragons leveled up more quickly. There's a lot of information that you can put in here, and we're going to start putting in here that'll be helpful to our existing members as well as new members as they come in. Then you've got just information about the specific guild and where you're at, what your rating level is, the amount of team medals you have, and the amount of team medals that you have is what enables you to start wars. Is you need team medals to be able to initiate wars. And then you obviously can edit this to whether you want auto kick members. So for example, I want the auto kick off. You can go down and set whether you want review only, automatic accept. There's a lot of different options that you can actually have as to how you want people to be able to come in there. So and then there's team honors. So as you progress through the game, there's various aspects of things that you can achieve. So if you win top team of the week on the leaderboard, then you get the leader. If you get warlords, which we already got, which is win 5 wars in 1 week. Strong leadership, obviously there's a bunch of those out there. There's a section for when anybody applies that you'd be able to get to see that as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at the war section here. And so the war section is going to be here to where we've got wars that we've won, and basically the max guild size is 50. And so for every person in there, that's a max equivalent of 5 flames. And how you get 5 flames on a base is being able to attack a base and destroy it with 1 dragon. Now the key thing to note is you're able to use 3 dragons for a raid, but you're also allowed to team, and so that enables that you can have up to 2 team members join you, and those dragons don't count as part of your 3. So it's a really good war strategy, at least initially, to make sure that if you're trying to get 5 flames, when you go into attack, you make sure that somebody else follows you with hopefully a relatively strong dragon, so that if you're not quite able to finish the base, that they can. So we've been able to get max flames on most of those. We've got a couple wars starting here in a few hours. And so as you'll see, here's the different members in there. When there's empty slots, they're automatic flames. So there are some avenues that I think they need to tweak on war here, but overall it's a lot of fun in the fact of being able to attack competition, and it's all based on the league that you're in. And then on top of that is when you go through and you do these attacks, you're able to do not only multiple wars at once, but if you go through this and we end up getting 5 flames on all of their players relatively early, the war immediately ends as soon as max flames on all bases are achieved. So you don't have to wait for the war timer to end. You do get 24 hours to war, but again, if it's 10 minutes into the war and you max flame all the bases, then the war ends, you've automatically won, and you can go on to the next war. And I think we've had as many as 5 wars going on at once. So there, again, can be a lot of activity of it. And the team aspect, and I'll show some of this in subsequent videos that you'll see how the rating goes, is a really cool feature. Last thing I'm going to show you is another aspect that I just think is a great idea, is they do events. So, for example, we have an event ongoing now, which is called, excuse me, the War of Infinite Battles. And so basically what this battle is it basically is all the different teams in your league, and we're currently in this specific bronze level league. Everybody teams them together and tries to pool resources for a period of 48 hours to be able to build up what's called your sentry. So we went through an aspect and built up our sentry to make sure that we make it as strong as we possibly can. And so if you look at the different aspects is there's the teammate contributions of what everybody's done. You can look at the team rank overall, and again, this event has gone through the prep phase of that 48 hours and now is going to the activity phase. And so as at the end of the specific time period, which is another 48 hours that this battle happens, so it'll basically end on the weekend, is whichever team is the highest will get the loot bonus for both meat and lumber, as well as egg tokens, and then there's some timers as well which allow you to speed up. So and then you also have your individual achievements. So as you the more points that you get, you progress, and then you're able to get rubies in the game, which is just allowing you to buy different aspects of the game or progress through it more quickly. So there's I could talk on this for a long time, but I at least wanted to give an initial kind of synopsis of it, and then stay tuned for some subsequent videos where we'll show attacks, and we'll actually go through and do some of these event attacks, because I think it's great with these events that they do, which happen on a weekly basis. So there's always something new, and there's a lot of community aspect put together into trying to progress, not only with your individual guild, but when you look at leagues. So you have a specific league chat that you're part of, and then you have a particular league that you're in. So right now, we're rated number 1 in our league because we've won every war since we started. Again, the guild's relatively low, and then you'll progress on as you go. So I hope you guys find this video useful, at least from an initial aspect. This game is a lot of fun. I would highly suggest you guys check it out. And stay tuned here for some more strategy as to we learn more about the game and how we progress and things that you can do. And then also we'll do some recaps of perhaps some wars that we have, but also some of these events as they progress. So thanks again for stopping by, and until next time, have fun.